Slimehouse TV, all figured out, myself, Theo Kane, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new reaction figure, Great Garloo. Pow! And we're back again, and as always, today's episode is sponsored by Floston Paradise. Now, Floston Paradise are a UK-based toy company that get all the illest toys from around the world, America, Japan, all these cool places. They bring them over to England, and then you can buy them here in the United Kingdom without getting hit with any import charges. If you're like me and you've bought toys from all over the world, you get them sent here to England, and then you get a slip through your door before you're allowed to receive that figure saying that you've got to pay money. With Floston Paradise, that's not the case. They handle all the import charges, bring them over, and then you can just pay them money, get the goods, and not have to deal with any import charges, which is always nice. Without further ado, let's get into today's toy. So, when you're a toy collector like me, you collect vintage shit. Like, I know I review a lot of new toys on here, but only ones that are really, like, vintage inspired, I suppose. A lot of the toys that we look at are vintage inspired. They're throwbacks to old toys from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. And the toy we're going to talk about today is something that is based on a Holy Grail toy. Now, Holy Grail toys are them that most near enough every toy collector I want wants at least one of these Holy Grail toys. And there's a few in the list, and each person's list kind of differs, but if you collect vintage, you're all pretty much on the same wavelength. And one of them is something called the Great Garloo. Now, it's a toy that I spent a long time trying to find, and I actually picked up my Great Garloo in the last episode that I uploaded on this channel when we was in Japan at the Shibuya Mandarake. And this is it. This is the Great Garloo. Now, a bit of his loincloth is missing because it's like tatty and dusty. It's here. It does fall off. So it's got a little bit of damage. He's supposed to have a little bit of sponge as well on his arms and his hands. And also, I've dropped it, but he has this thing. And this is like his mechanism. I've never actually put batteries in and tried it out. Maybe we should try it out and see if we can get it working. But it has this. And that's the back of it. So you can drive him around your front room and he can pick stuff up. But he's big, as you can see. It's a huge toy. I don't even know if I'm cutting it off in the video. But it's the Great Garloo. It was made by Louis Marks in the early 60s. And it's a real Holy Grail piece. It's like a rare piece that you just don't see very often. People that buy them tend to keep hold of them in their own collection. And it's something that many vintage toy collectors... Oh, I've got a hair in my eye. Many vintage toy collectors... it's highly sought after amongst them. So what ReAction have done is they've released this, their version of the Great Garloo in the small Star Wars style figure, which is fucking awesome. So, well, first of all, I'm hoping that they do a whole run of these Marks Holy Grail toys, because there's another one, Big Lou, that I really like. Big Lou is 3 times the size of Great Garloo. It's a huge moon robot with firing rockets and shit. I'd love to get one of them. Like, I know one day I'm going to see one and it's going to be like £1,000 and I'm just going to be like selling everything that I own to get it. But until that day, I'm hoping that ReAction release one. So just talking a little bit about this figure, it's got that classic Great Garloo head with the 4 teeth at the front and the eyebrows, and it's got that wicked like green skin colour with the scales, and he's got the shorts. Now these shorts always made me laugh. You look at the Great Garloo and he's got like the leopard print loincloth, but in the advert for the toy, the Great Garloo is as big as a building. It's like smashing bridges and picking up trains and cars and shit. So I always wondered, like, what the fuck did he hunt to get? What kind of leopard did he hunt to get shorts to get a skin that was that big to make his fucking loincloth out of? Like, wherever the Great Garloo is from, and there's no backstory to the Great Garloo. Like, I've tried to find like where this guy come from, why the Great Garloo is what he is. Is he a god? Is he a titan? Did he come from beneath the surface of the earth? Is he from space? Is he from another reality, a dimension? I don't know. They just released this mad figure called the Great Garloo, so I don't know where he's from, but he's fucking huge. Maybe he's from a dimension where everything's the same size as him, and then he's come to the planet who knows, but it's fucking cool. So yeah, in the early 60s, the great Louis Marks released that figure, and then ReAction have just released their version of the Great Garloo. So just looking a little bit at the back, the old figure used to come in a box that was like this kind of colour. The big toy, the one I showed you earlier, it came in a box like this, so that's why we've got this kind of like old cardboard kind of texture colour there. And it says, "Who can stop him? Who can control this monstrous creature? You can, kids!" Because that's what the advert used to say. "The Great Garloo by Marx is yours to command. You are his master." So yeah, this figure, it used to go pick stuff up and move around, and you could drive it around your house on like, well, as far as the wire would restrict you, which is like this long. So yeah, it used to have sponge between its hands. This one doesn't. And what they've kind of done is they've sort of, I suppose they've sort of like updated it in a way that it's, because the old one's very rigid like this, and they've done him in the more Star Wars style. But he's got the little medallion around his neck that we spin it round. The Garloo has the medallion around his neck saying Garloo, so he's got that on the string, and he's got one of his hands with the chain. I could never work it out, but Garloo has one hand with a real chain. Yeah, and then one hand with like a moulded chain. So they've done the moulded chain there on him. And yeah, he's just a fucking awesome figure. It's just proper cool that they've made it. What I'm really liking about the Super 7 and the ReAction figures at the minute is they do just release some figures just because it's cool to release them. But at the same time, they do stuff like the Misfits figure and the King Diamond and this guy and ones that have like a little bit of lore behind them, a bit of a story. It's not just a figure. It's not just a franchise figure and we've made our own version like that. They do that for a lot of figures, like the Hellboy and the Alien and stuff like that. But like these, they've got some lore behind them, and that's what I really like about these figures. And even when it comes to like the box art and stuff, they've even made it like that. And this is kind of squeezed in, like kind of as if like it's even replicating the old box that would probably be a bit dented and smushed by now if you got older one. Very fucking cool. So if you want one of these, head over to Floston Paradise. It's fpcollectibles.com. Like I said, they've got this and tons of other toys. They send me a big box of stuff every week, and then I review it for you guys. This is by far, and I know I said this on the show all the time, I go, this is one of my favourite things they've ever sent me. But this is by far one of my favourite things that they've ever sent me, and it was really hard to get these over in England. I don't think there was San Diego Comic Con exclusives, but it was amongst the time when everything was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive, because it was like within the last month, and it was really hard to get these in England. So I don't even know if they've got some left, but have a look. I was with them at Birmingham Comic Con a couple of weeks ago, and they had them then, and people were loving them. So if you want to get yourself one of these and check out all the other stuff they've got, head over to fpcollectibles.com. This is all figured out. I'm Theo Kane. Shouts to Floston Paradise. Shouts to everybody that's locked in and watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. But for now, we're gone. Boom. As always, thank you so much for checking out the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And on top of all that, we recently set up a Patreon, so please check that out and find out how you can help us make Slimehouse bigger and better than ever. Don't forget to check out all the other cool stuff on our channel, and we'll catch you next time on Slimehouse TV.